Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar. I'm going to do a quick briefing today on how to win the money game against loans and why lines versus loans you want to understand, and how to utilize lines and why loans are no good when it comes to creating cash flow in your life. Loans are the antithesis of cash flow. So let me get started. My name is Michael and I'm happy to be here with you. And this strategy has changed the way I do my banking and do my cash flow. And I'm excited to bring it to you because if you implement this stuff, you're going to be a very powerful and financially savvy person when it comes to money, banking, cash flow, lifestyle. It's coming. So check this out. You guys have probably seen a traditional mortgage arrangement where, let's say you had a $1,000 a month payment, right? And it's 30-year fixed, so just across the board, 30 years. Well, the challenge is that at the very beginning of the loan, and for the majority of the body of the loan, we are paying interest. That's what this represents here. The majority of the body of a mortgage at the beginning especially is interest, and you are utilizing very little principal reduction. Now obviously as time goes on, more and more gets reduced by the principal. But you could easily see how $900 of your first $1,000 would go to interest and only $100 would go to principal. Now the other challenge is that about every 5 years, people refinance or buy a new home. And so sometimes I'll joke around and I'll ask people, oh, okay, so you wanted a 35-year mortgage or a 40-year mortgage? And they go, no. But if you're right in here and you refinance after 5 years and you just go right back to where you started, you could see that the majority of what you paid was interest. And that's a challenge. We want to get away from that. Now switching over to a financial calculator, hold on, stay with me. It's really important that you understand the challenge so that we can help you out. Here's the challenge. We have a 30-year mortgage with a 6% interest and a $300,000 beginning balance. Now by the end of the year, if we were to go through all 360 payments on this schedule, you know what you'd end up seeing is that you're going to pay a total of $648 30 years from now. What we want to show you is how you could start jumping and skipping. So let's take a look at this. On this example of a mortgage, an $1,800 payment, $1,500 goes to interest and $298 only goes to your principal. So let me show you something now. Let's imagine our mortgage is right over here. So our mortgage for $300,000. And over here we have a line of credit. And let's say it's for $10,000. Okay? Now what typically happens is a person will earn their direct deposit, it'll go into their checking account, and then they'll make payments out of their checking account. They'll pay all their expenses. Well, what we want to do is add a line of credit to your operation. So check this out. Your money comes in, goes into your checking account, and then you transfer it to your line of credit, and then you use your line of credit to pay out your monthly expenses. Now, the power behind utilizing this strategy, because again, going back to our calculator, if you make 12 months of payments, look at payment number 12. You have paid $1,800 12 times, but you still owe $296,322. So let's use this line of credit and deploy this $10,000 against this $300,000 and immediately chunk it down. Chunk down $10,000. Gone. Now, where are we on this schedule? Well, look at the balance and let's go down to $290. Where is $290? $290,000 is month 31. So month 31, you just skipped 30 payments of having to pay that type of interest, basically saving you tens of thousands of dollars. Now someone would say, well, Michael, I don't want to go into debt. I can't afford another payment on a line of credit. Well, great news. The payment is the deposit. So let's say you earn $4,000 a month. Well, you would put that $4,000 onto your line, $4,000. And then your expenses, let's say in this example, is $3,000. So that goes out in expenses. Now what's left over every month is $1,000. It's left over as purchase power. It is not sitting in your checking account. It is sitting in the line of credit. Okay, one thing you want to know about lines of credit is they have ADI, average daily interest. So the longer your money sits in the line, the less interest you pay. Whereas over here, the mortgage is fixed for 30 years. That's why we want to attack it using an ADI account. So after 10 months of doing this operation, you now have $10,000 back in your line of credit. So you were on month 1, you immediately jumped to month 31, which took you down to $290,000. Well, now we've gotten 10 more months, so we're on month 41, and we've built up our line of credit back to $10,000. So we'll go over here, month 41, right at the top here, month 41, we're at $286. Let's say we deploy 10,000 more, that would take us down to $276. So 276 puts us now at month 67. Now at month 67, and we owe 276. Now the coolest thing is on the calendar. For this year, you've only lived and experienced 10 months on the calendar, but you are now 67 months into your mortgage. That's 5 years. And not even a whole year has gone by. You've knocked off over 5 years. So imagine that. We just repeat this process again and again and again. $10,000 chunks towards your mortgage, $4,000 goes in, $3,000 goes out. Most people, most Americans, could pay off their house in the time it takes for most other people to do a refinance. Remember, refinancing is what will benefit the banks. We want to get you to where you got this sweet spot right here to where you're owning the home. 5 years into the game, you are owning the home, and you buy another house and another house and another house. And so this is the real retirement plan. This is the real way to become financially free. What I want to do is invite you to take a look at a few examples. I want to introduce you to my friend Tim. Now Tim did this strategy, and what happened for him was he was renting out his basement, and he was using a traditional mortgage. He was at negative 50 cash flow a month. When he made the switch and started utilizing what's called the mortgage swap strategy, which I didn't even go into yet, that's for another webinar that I'll be happy to share with you. But what happened for him was he went to $650 a month cash flow. Then he rented the upstairs, increasing his cash flow by $1,000. And in that 1 month, he got a 30-point increase on his credit. Because of that 30-point increase, he gained a $35,000 line, which enabled him to buy another fourplex, producing another $1,200 a month in cash flow. So he went from negative 50 to implementing this strategy, moving into a bigger house and getting $1,650 cash flow from one, $1,200 cash flow from the other, and now his wife doesn't need a job. It's a beautiful thing. This strategy works for so many people. Now, if you look at the side by side, we talked about the traditional mortgage on the left and the accelerated strategy on the right. If you were to pay out his original mortgage, he would have paid $176,000 in interest. Now, instead, because of this acceleration strategy, he's only going to pay $12,500 in interest. The savings is incredible. Now, some people might ask, well, Michael, why don't I know about this? How come no one ever talks about this? It's because the banks don't win with this strategy. The consumer, the homeowner, wins in this strategy. And that's what we're here to do, is empower people to win in the financial game, in the banking game. Now, we're doing this all over the country. You may have seen some of these cities. These are some of the markets that I have a hand in, and if you're in one of these, hi there, looking forward to meeting you. We're expanding all over the country, so feel free to get back with the person who invited you to this. There's a next series of webinars that we'd love to introduce you to about how to, once you're debt-free, how to bring more cash flow into your life, how to get into real estate investing so that you never, ever need a job again. And think about this. When you're building a real estate portfolio, that's something you can pass on to your kids, right? They'll be 10 years after you pass away. They'll be, making a toast to you because of what you left them as far as a wealth portfolio. If you work your job for 30, 40 years and you do a fantastic job, you still can't leave your job to your kids. So the point is to win the financial game, get into real estate, and use your local teams to take advantage of that. We got a shortcut to help you to navigate through this. And so in order to get the next set of webinars, go ahead and get back with the person who invited you to this. Tell them you're interested in learning more, and we'll be happy to plug you into either a next recorded webinar, or in one of your cities, we'll be doing a live training soon. We'd love to meet you. So thanks for playing, and we'll talk to you soon.